Today is day 71 of my reading the Bible in 365 days. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these scriptures. Like and share, leave a comment below. Let's get started. The story of Samson is one of power, vengeance, and divine intervention. A man chosen by God, yet ruled by his emotions, Samson's actions against the Philistines brought both devastation and deliverance. This is the tale of his wrath and redemption. At the height of the wheat harvest, Samson, fueled by an unrelenting sense of betrayal, set forth to reclaim his wife. However, upon his arrival, he was met with an unbearable truth. His wife had been given to another.
"I've come for my wife."
"I was sure you hated her, so I gave her to your companion. But her younger sister is more attractive. Take her instead."
Enraged, Samson swore vengeance upon the Philistines, for it was they who had wronged him. Determined to strike fear into their hearts, Samson gathered 300 foxes and in pairs, tied their tails together with torches fastened between them. As he released them into the Philistine fields, flames devoured their wheat, vineyards, and olive groves, leaving a trail of destruction.
"Who did this?"
It was Samson. His wife was given away.
The Philistines, desperate for revenge, burned his wife and her father alive. Samson, overcome with fury, vowed to exact his revenge.
"Since you've done this, I won't stop until I have avenged them."
With unrelenting force, he struck down many Philistines before retreating to a cave in the rock of Etam. Sensing the threat he posed, the Philistines mobilized their forces and encamped in Judah. The men of Judah, fearing retaliation, confronted Samson.
"Don't you realize the Philistines rule over us? What have you done?"
"I merely did to them what they did to me."
In an effort to appease the Philistines, 3,000 men from Judah agreed to bind Samson and surrender him.
"Swear to me that you won't kill me yourselves."
"Agreed. We will only bind you and hand you over."
With fresh ropes, they bound him and led him to Lehi. As Samson approached, the Philistines erupted in triumphant shouts. But the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, breaking his bindings like charred flax. Spotting the jawbone of a donkey, he seized it and with divine strength, struck down 1,000 Philistines.
"With the donkey's jawbone, I have slain 1,000 men."
After his mighty triumph, Samson stood, weary and parched. Crying out to God, he pleaded for water.
"You have given your servant this great victory. Must I now die of thirst and fall into enemy hands?"
In his mercy, God opened the ground at Lehi, and a spring burst forth. Drinking deeply, Samson's strength was restored, and the spring was named En-Hakkore, the Caller's Spring. For 20 years, Samson led Israel in the days of Philistine oppression. His name etched into history as both a warrior of vengeance and a man sustained by the hand of God. Samson's life is a powerful testament to the tension between divine calling and human weakness. While he was gifted with extraordinary strength, his choices often led to failure. Yet, even in his final moments, God used him to accomplish his purpose. Samson's story teaches us that our greatest strengths can also be our greatest weaknesses if not surrendered to God. God's presence does not override personal choices. We must walk in obedience. Failure does not have to be the end. God redeems and restores those who turn to him. Though Samson wasted much of his potential, he is still remembered in the Hall of Faith. Hebrews 11 verse 32. Not for his failures but for his faith. His journey reminds us that no matter how far we have fallen, it is never too late to turn back to God. Final thought. In our weakest moments when we cry out to God, he can still use us for his glory. May we all learn from Samson's story and walk in the strength of the Lord.